Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Smite Pro League. Gandhi joined by DM. We just watched Fat Chunks dismantle Thirst. It is now time to watch Snipe taking on Cognitive Gaming.
I think dismantle was the perfect term for that.
It took me 15 minutes to come up with it, but I did it.
It was destruction. Like front to back, first kill to last kill. There was nothing Thirst could do to find it. Now Chunks really hoping on a COG win here as they're vying for that 4th place spot. With that, they need to make sure that Snipe starts to fall down. With that, Snipe goes up against one of the top teams currently in North America, and that's going to be Cognitive Prime.
Yeah, and Cognitive Prime looked very, very good last night after the initial break. I mean,
Right.
Fat Chunks was coming at their throats very, very tough. For some reason, Fat Chunks decided to slow down the pace of the game where Cognitive Gaming was able to climb back into it. But tonight they are going against Snipe. Now, Snipe is a team who really needs to find their footing right now. They did so well leading up to the bye week, and now it's kind of been like, oh.
I wish you would have saw them at the LAN, man. They came out just losing Shing, never playing in a tournament before with Weekend, and they were dominating. If it wasn't for a very poor third game, they would have knocked Dignitas out of the tournament.
Really?
And I think if Dig got knocked out of the tournament that early, there would have been even bigger roster changes than we already saw with Gnaw and Dare to Care coming on. But they managed to make it through, taking second there, Snipe falling down. But I've known Allied and those guys, a lot of those guys for years, and knowing Allied since like 2009. I mean,
he's a multi-gamer too.
He is, yes.
Which I have a lot of
Brothers.
respect for a lot of people who are actually multi-gamers and they're actually good at the multi-game.
Yes,
not just like, oh, well, I
have
actually
a
really
Steam
like
library.
StarCraft too.
But knowing Allied, especially in Smite, every loss this guy has taken has been heartbreaking. I mean, there's always a sour attitude afterwards, just like, I need to do better. I don't know what I did wrong. Like, I need to watch VODs. I need to figure it out. After that LAN, he's like, we lost, man, but we did great. Like, new roster, like, we bodied. We're right, and we're going into this super strong. And they had a really weird early loss, having the only loss to Thirst, which was one of the first games there. But they're going to have left side Cognitive going to have the Chaos side, which is extremely powerful.
Yeah, it's very, very dominant. Now, one important thing to note here as we get ready to go into the picks and bans, Snipe and Cog are actually 1-1. The one win that Snipe has coming out on top of this was actually very beginning when Thanatos was kind of, wow, what is going on with Heavy Hammer? Now
Heavy Hammer, never heard of it.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Well, soon you may not hear of it much.
1350 boys.
You and this boys. Kills me. Anyways, taking a look at the bans here. That's going to be Apollo and Kukulkan actually kind of saying get that out of there.
Shot to stealth.
Shot to stealth, but also a bigger shot to Jerby, I think. I think they almost banned out one of their main gods for Jerby.
And if they take away Ra, Jerby's like god pool is pretty much out of there.
Well, the thing, you would think that, but he actually has one of the widest god pools in the SPL.
Right, to the same regard, he doesn't quite do so well with those off picks. I want to see him go into Scylla here before MLC Stealth has a chance to pick it up. Of course, Janus still is on the table. Nua still available as well as Aphrodite. So you can see maybe Kiki looking for that.
This is going to be very tough. I mean, this is getting down to kind of to the wire here. And Mercury is going to be available as well, so we always have to make note of that. And he's been sliding through, but also, you know what else is on the table? Arachne.
I don't know if we're going to see Arachne.
We should. How many Odins have we seen, right? I haven't seen an Arachne
and I
yet.
tell you, I don't like her.
Yeah?
And it's funny because I have a shirt that literally says, I love Arachne.
And now you're like, I loathe.
I have like I'm going to draw a little.
Just put duct tape, be that classy guy, just in case like another patch comes out and you really like her.
Wait! She's OP again.
Yeah, right.
Option back over to Cognitive Prime. Andy and Jeff Hindla picking with about 15 seconds remaining. Mercury being off the board. There's a few key picks available, including Rama. Aside from that, it's kind of up in the air. Thor being banned out. Zhang Kui available with Nemesis being gone as a big pick.
That would be really, really big, especially going into the solo lane. I mean, Zhang Kui, and plus when you grab Zhang Kui early, they're not sure, is this going to be a solo lane? Is this going to be our mid lane? We have no idea, but it looks like it is going to be a Giannis locking in there. So definitely already global presence and a lot of mobility. They're not sure if he's going to go mid lane or short lane. We'll find out basically right when they're done.
Rama, though, more than likely going to be going to the duo. That Hunter, super powerful. Freya, still on the table.
I love Freya.
We know that Allied likes to take some kind of janky Hunters. There was one point before you joined our community where Allied brought Scylla to the duo lane and just dominated.
Really?
And it was so awesome.
You're kidding.
And he hasn't done it yet, or rather since. We're going to see Freya and Ra locked in. Two great picks. Ra more than likely going to be put into the hands of Jerby. Freya more than likely going to be the ADC here. Mercury still could be jungle, or he could be solo. Kiki generally likes mages, though.
Yeah, Kiki kind of has like his niche, and they kind of know that. But I mean, looking at it, this could be, Freya jungle.
Yeah, it could be.
Very, very strong. We saw it in the last game.
Very ambiguous.
Yeah, and I mean, plus, like,
Thor.
nothing worse than, sitting in lane and then all of a sudden, up there, I'm banished, and now, I have some damage. Oh, God, Valkyrie's discretion. I'm done. So Thor actually going to be picked up there. Both COG teams really loving the Thor picks at all times. Obviously, the Garz is in his own category of amazing with Thor, but even COG Prime is still like, they have a mean Thor. Yeah. And last night we actually saw him get banned out.
Yeah, I mean, and he should be. I mean, he's incredibly strong, but he does make it through. It's going to be locked in for COG Prime. Bakasura and Zhang Kui going to be banned out. Strangely enough, option back over to Cognitive Prime. Looking at the field right now with Janus, this one to me is a no-brainer. You got to give Omega the baby. That would be my front-to-back call. Give it to him. There's no reason not to. He's amazingly strong. He's lightning fast, has great lane control, utilizes heavy hammer well, but they're going to lock in Bacchus for Jeff Henla.
Support, yeah. I mean, that kind of leaves them now with, they're basically saying, okay, bring out the Athena. Right? Like, we want you to have Athena. We'll take Bacchus any day of the week over Athena. But, the synergy there, they may not necessarily know what's going to happen with Freya or Mercury, right? Like, this could be, Hunter Mercury. It could be Hunter Freya. Like, there's a lot of going on here with Snipe. Ooh. And that's how dare you? How dare you?
Guan Yu with his new patented move, Towel Assault.
Okay. Well.
You know about the Towel Assault?
Nope. I just figured it was a bad joke, so I just.
Brand new. It's the same as Tallow Assault, except he uses a towel, apparently. You have to ask Kelly for the details. Make sure to watch Patch Notes every Friday with Kelly Link. It's very important.
So that is going to be a Guan Yu and Athena.
All right.
So
who knows where anyone is going?
Yeah, right. At this point, it's very, very awkward. And now Barracuda's got the option, right? He's going to be the last one to pick for his team. Obviously, there's going to be some mix-ups there, but I don't know who they grab. They have a decent amount of options. To
me, it's Baby. I mean, still, they don't have any healing reduction over on the left side. They would have to build into it. It's really strange to see they're not going to try to use that presence. Final few seconds here as they get into it, and it looks like it's going to be a lock on Osiris. Yeah. More than likely going to be your solo laner. Another player or character that uses Heavy Hammer very, very well, as the third and fourth hits of his attack chain are actually AoEs, making it much harder for a player to juke inside of his own creep wave to avoid the slow.
Yeah, and actually, Omega's 1-3 with the Baby. So even though the Baby is very strong, sometimes it doesn't fit your play style.
1-3. And how many losses does this team even have?
1-3. They have 5.
They have four losses total. Yeah. So, 3 of their 4 losses are on the back of Amana.
I mean, that's a correlation, right?
I suppose
it's like, well, he picks the Baby, so they lose.
I mean, I wear vests in the stream dies. Let's see what happens if I pick that vest up off the floor.
My thing. Don't even look. It right? He freaked out. As soon as you did that, I actually hit like the Windows key, and it freaked out, and I was like, oh Jesus, this is gonna happen already today. But taking a look here, it is gonna be Incon bringing in the Athena weekend with Mercury. Jerby actually is gonna be playing Raw.
Good.
So Jerby,
here's an interesting note: if Jerby didn't pick Raw, going into before the LAN, COG Red would legitimately no longer exist. Jerby's Raw is the reason COG Red is still a team.
I guess I need a background story here.
So 5 Angry Men were about to knock COG Red out. They beat COG Red in it, and they were going deep down the line. They needed literally one more win to make it to LAN. And Jerby had the best game of his entire life, landing every snipe, tons of healing, tons of damage, was MVP of that game by a mile. And COG Red wasn't really COG Red yet. I mean, they were still kind of fighting for it. They were thinking about roster changes. They were thinking about people leaving. And these are all rumors, of course. But Jerby's amazing play got COG Red to the LAN, and then COG Red wound up winning the LAN. So they not only thought we should stay as a team, but hey, let's really practice and get better. And now, current #1 seed in North America. And my favorite part about it is Jerby actually tweeted immediately, all 5 of you better sub to my channel or we're taking our win back.
That's awesome.
Love
Good for him. I'm assuming none of them subbed.
I have no idea.
I mean, if I was a pro player, I wouldn't sub to anyone else. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I subbed to Shadow because I wanted to watch his girlfriend play Five Nights at Freddy, and that was a sub goal.
You know what's funny is I actually
Not that game. It's scary. I'm never playing it again.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I watched it get played, and I was like, I don't care. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at Snipe versus Cog. This is gonna be your starting rosters.
I still love Andon's face. Just like I'm the most expensive fantasy player. Like I'm 13.
Yeah, well, he's probably still has that all over his team. But you know what sticks out for me? Just looking at Cog Prime, right? One, Jeff Henla, 161 assists.
The Canadian himself.
He loves hockey.
He does.
And Vancouver. Omegatron, though, 502 gold per minute. Now that's a great average.
That is far and away the highest on this list. No one even really close to that, except for, of course, the legend himself, Barracuda, at 495. And, you know, this is something I always like to point out is you take a look at all the team portraits, and Cog, everyone on Cog is smiling. Even Omega's trying to smile, and he never smiles.
Yeah, well, the best thing about team pictures is that you're not supposed to smile. You're supposed to be, like, tough.
Look at Kiki.
No, look at Weekend. Look at Weekend. Weekend's like, you know what? Come at me, bro.
Kiki actually looks like he's going to hurt me.
Incon too. Incon wants to like feast on you.
He's the nicest man.
Yeah, he apparently he is actually a really nice guy.
He's a great dude. Everyone, make sure to check out his stream. I'm not sure if he's streaming right now, but you can of course find him.
Oh, I think actually Weekend actually is streaming with a 4-minute delay tonight on his Twitch. Yeah,
make sure to check that out, guys. You'll be able to take a listen to their comms as Snipe tries to work themselves back away from the ever approaching chunks as they're fighting for contention. So make sure to check his stream out. I assume it's twitch.tv/Weekend as it's spelled. We're going to take a look at the gods they're playing tonight. Speaking of Weekend himself, going to be bringing Mercury into the jungle, a 50% win rate with a 16,620, but a very high goal per minute.
Very, very high. And then other than that, I mean, you're taking a look. Raw on Jerby, 100%. Freya, 100%. On the other side here, 100% here with Giannis. That is huge.
That's not something you want to see when you're going up against a team that has Giannis, a character that is not only incredibly strong, but has great movement, great defense, not to mention that dropship nonsense, being able to rotate his entire 4-man team to get into a Titan and kill it before the team has a chance to react.
Yeah, well, you know, and also taking a look at it, I mean, look at Barracuda, right? You're going to see 50%, you're going to be like, oh, I don't know if I necessarily think that's really good for Rum. It's very, very tough for hunters.
26-32, that looks good to me.
Yeah, I mean that part. But it's like 50%. Are they really going to take the gamble? It's like, well, yeah, because it's Rom.
Yeah, I mean, they've had
Astral
very
Barrage
few
is
losses.
just too good.
What an incredible move. If you ever catch someone, if you get into the sky before they can notice you, if you catch them on a lazy back, maybe they're shopping, if in a team fight someone gets frozen out, I just don't see what you can do to try to predict that kind of damage.
Yeah, and taking a look here at the starting items here, nothing too crazy at all.
All right, so starting up, looks like not too much is going on here. Pretty normal setup.
Yeah, everything going according to plan here. And, you know, what's with the 3-man stacking?
All right, so coming in on the left side here, looking at Stealth, already getting those creeps, making sure he's going to get to mid lane immediately. Top side, they're going for the blue buff. I love the bottom side start here from Allied and Incon, making sure they go to lane much more experienced than they would have just by getting that blue buff. So this is a very smart play. They won't even lose too much time. The issue here is that it doesn't exactly give you level 2. They will need 1 creep to do it. If they're quick enough, they can get it off before that creep dies, but they weren't. Allied going to get jumped on here. Level 2 Barracuda going right for it.
Yeah, just a little bit there. And Brandon, you're actually a little bit off here, as this is going to be Allied rotating back here to the back Harpies.
Apparently we're having a bit of a production issue. Excuse us, guys. Okay, so we're going to cut to cams real quick, guys. Sorry about that. It looks like the spectator client had a bit of a misplay. Well, you know what's going to happen in the beginning. Bottom side, it looks like the duo is going to be starting at the small camp. Everything is fixed up now. Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah, and you know the big thing here, looking at these two matchups, I mean, Snipe really wants to go into this, and they want to come out on this on top, but they are going against the order side, right?
Right.
So that's going to be big, but COG Prime, we've kind of seen their chinks in their armor. If it wasn't for them slowing down the pace last night, people say they could have lost a chunk. So this is a do or die time here for Snipe.
I think people are still choking. I mean, maybe sleeping a little bit on the chunks. I don't think that they're giving them enough credit.
Yeah, I don't either, but we're going to go ahead and hop to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the game. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is time to get this game started. Snipe taking on Cobb. We are all synced up.
That's right. Bottom side, as we talked about previously, it looks like Incontinent and Allied are going to go in. They will get the blue buff uncontested and then go to lane. Now, what you'll see, since you already got a peek of that, is we are going to see a jump in on from Barracuda and Bacchus. But what I want you guys to see here is as the creeps meet up, there's going to be one specific creep that's very important. That first creep is going to die a few feet before Allied and Incontinentia can get in there, and it's not going to give them the experience. Now, watch as we get into this lane here. Since that dies before they can get in, they don't hit the level 2 that they need, and with the jump in, the creep doesn't die. So with that, they need that one hit and they can't get it. Barracuda keeping them locked down. Now, it's not going to be too big of a deal. They'll hit level 2 in just a second here, as you can see, and now we're all caught up. But this put a lot of stuff forward. Allied, forced to use his pulse early, allows free clear for Barracuda.
Yeah, and things are going to be, I mean, this is what COG wants to do. They want to aggress early, but I mean, it's going to be very, very tough. I mean, they do have Jeff Hinla as Bacchus, who's going to be constantly initiating, so they have to stay on top of that, but they have to be careful because Athena's very strong early on.
I really like the Guan Yu solo. This is not something that we're seeing all too often, but it's super effective. We saw this from Zipstar last week, and he did incredibly with it. And now Kiki going for it as well. Check out the build start, has opted away from the heavy hammer, instead going for Smithy's hammer. This is going to give him a little bit more defense and on top of 20 extra health than heavy hammer. But heavy hammer, of course, has 18 damage on it and that ever-present slow.
Yeah, I think he really just did that because he knew Osiris was going to be starting off with the heavy hammer, and he wants to have just a little bit more health. But we'll see how it works out for him. It is going to be a very, very tough matchup, though.
Either side has great kill potential. Omega can jump in and stop healing. Kiki can use Cavalry Charge to shut down the Lord of the Afterlife escape. I mean, there's a lot. It comes down to clear, and neither player really has the major clear advantage, though. Guan Yu does have great push. Right there, Omega smartly using the Hand of the Gods there to ensure that he keeps pushing. But look, you can see using that AoE, forcing 6 creeps directly into the eyes of Kiki. He's trying to keep them away here, but instead just takes a couple hundred damage for moving forward. He just should have been more patient.
Yeah, and meanwhile, as that was going on, both teams doing an amazing job splitting camps here.
Right.
Jerby rotating all the way back there with there's going to be some damage. I don't know if there's going to be much of a fall, but he is going to miss that. He was going to look for the snipe there, but they do have to be careful. Weaken's going to come in here. There's going to be
that was a bad teleport. That was a real bad teleport. Destruction.
Well,
no
he might actually be able to keep going in here. Nope, that's going to be a portal.
What a fair character he is, man. That's great.
I feel like we have this conversation
right there, right there. Anitzer teleported way too quickly, spamming that button, scared of the push. If he had done it at max range, he would have been fine. But smart, Weaken recognized the mistake, capitalized immediately. Snipe takes a very early lead, up 700 gold now, 1-0.
Yeah, and it's Stealth is going to get tossed just a little bit. Jerby's going to have the potential to do it, and he is. It's actually going to go to Incon there as he's going to fly in with the ultimate.
And
he actually is going to hit the rotation here on Andinster as well.
Andy's doing some damage here. Does he have it? One's going to go to Andy, one's going to go to Incon. Left side, both are going to go to Snipe as a late rotation from Jeff Hinla spells immediate disaster. Snipe finding another kill, of course, onto MLC Stealth, now up 1,000 gold.
Yeah, and Jerby just getting rolling. He goes back.
Incon.
There's going to be more damage here coming out, and Jeff Hinla's going to be able to get one. Here's going to be a little bit of a throw. Andinster's going to take at least one tower shot, so does Jeff Hinla, but there is no follow-up there. Weaken sent back, and looking at this, I mean, Jerby, you can see he's very, very cautious, right? He comes back, he buys beads and an Aegis.
Speaking of purchases, Omega dual-wielding hammers right now as Heavy Hammer and Smithy's Hammer both come online. That's immediately 450 health, 25 physical protection, 18 damage, and a slow on his auto attacks on a character that already has a ton of physical protection. Don't forget, his passive gives him protections as he gets it going. The damage mitigation comes out from his 3 as well, so he is going to be very, very hard to kill, considering the jungler himself, Weaken, is also a physical character, so he's building against ganks.
He's building smart, too, because he needs to have this lane presence. He knows there's going to be a time where Kiki is just going to be basically almost unkillable for him.
Looking at the board here, I'm looking at a healer in Kiki. I'm looking at a healer in Jerby. There's probably going to be some type of lifesteal coming out from Weekend at some point. Allied has inherent lifesteal as well built into his kit. With that, Heavenly Agility better come out. I want to see 2 of them, because that not only will increase their movement speed, increase their healing, but it makes them immune to slows. And going up against a character like Omega's Osiris, he's going to have a slow on his auto attacks, a slow on his 1, a slow on his 2, mitigation on his 3. I mean, you can't fight that stuff. They need movement.
The real question, though, is do we see Stealth actually pick up a Divine Ruin? And I'm not sure that falls in there, because, you know, the third item most likely is going to be Chronos.
Right.
Just for the CDR. I don't think he gets that. So they're going to have a big advantage having, you know, at least 2 mages.
It's going to be hard. I mean, either way, there's a lot of counter building potential on both sides. And speaking of building, it looks like both the Fatalis and the Devourer's Gloves coming online for the Hunters. Allied and Barracuda racing back to the lane. What did they call in here? I just saw a ping come out. Not sure if they were pinging out a ward or if they were calling for the Gold Fury, but there are ward for both right now. Jeff Hinla moving inside.
I think they were pinging for the ward, just based on the fact that Athena walked up and placed one.
Right. I mean, that makes the most sense.
They're not in too good of a position.
But I was looking at Allied rotate into the jungle. It kind of looked like they were looking for contention.
Well, you know, I have a big question mark on Andenster's Thor right now. We already saw him kind of throw the hammer out there, which caused him to die very, very early.
He's panicking.
I think he might just be rushing a little bit too much. There's a lot on stake here for this game.
And that's crazy to me, considering, you know, when we used to talk about COG, you know, 2-3 months ago, it was Andenster, always cool as a cucumber, never missed shots, always was running into 3 people, getting out with a kill.
Oh man, Searing Pain, it's your time, Jerby. Jerby waiting for it. The heal's going to go down. Is he going to line it up? He's yet to fire it. He just does. Hit Stealth. Stealth's going to take a lot of damage. Allied is able to get 1. Weaken now is going to be stunned. He's going to be able to clear up another one. Andenster trying to juke out. Allied doing copious amounts of damage. Barracuda, are you next is the question. Hide under that tower, my man.
Snipe's coming out very strong. Allied missing a lot of shots in that engagement. Still winds up coming up clean with a double kill. Could have been a triple had he found another shot onto Jeff Hinla, but he missed one. Not giving away what he needed. Overall, though, big plays coming out from Snipe as they do get the mid camps as well. Snipe now leads 1,600 gold, but that's curious to me. We just saw them up by 1,000. They should be up much more.
Yeah, they should be. Jeff Hinla trying to get a little bit tipsy here. Jerby's going to be stunned, and will there be any follow-up? Jeff Hinla actually came so much from the tower, manages to get out of there with just a sliver. Jerby has to be careful. Andenster is going to be coming around. This might be a dive. Jerby, you got to get out of here, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to play to maybe find some extra damage here, or extra experience.
Oh, no.
He's going to pay for it. The double tap doesn't go off. He's under the ground. He's in the air.
Wow.
He's everywhere. The gate sends him now into oblivion as Jerby gets picked off hot off his greed. Allied was there for the experience. He didn't need to hang around. He should have played it safe. He didn't, and they're giving COG room to breathe.
Yeah, Stealth getting those 2 kills there is going to be huge. He is now 2-2. He is going to be a humongous factor in this next bit. Allied actually great banish. He's going to be able to get out of there by the skin of his teeth. They need to really start respecting the presence of Thor. I know he hasn't been doing much, but wow.
I mean, look at the presence Andy is having right there, and beautiful again at using advanced techniques properly. Gets the double tap on allies with Mjolnir's attunement, immediately throws out a basic attack, canceling the animation into his Berserker Barrage on the exact frame it looked like, to at least to me, where it would have been available to still do the damage. Andy putting out max damage. Had he not fallen behind earlier with those 2 deaths, he probably would have had a little bit more damage to his name. Allied could have died there, but smart play coming out from Allied with a very quick draw of that banish, making sure that he was able to stay alive. Level 10 right now, doing a good job.
Now, here's something that I'm completely curious about. Jerby not finishing his boots.
Oh, wait. Let me fix your face here for a second. We're going to talk about Omega. Forced to ult. Cavalry charge. Going to chase it down. Incon ready to fight as well. Smartly not using the taunt until it was necessary. Omega really keeping himself alive for a long time there, but too little too late.
Oh, Gold Fury attempt is actually going to be coming in next.
But this is what we talk about. If 3 people rush solo, you rush the Gold Fury. Only Frey is there. 3-man banish going to reset it. Allied MVP of the early game might find a kill onto Jeff Hindla.
Oh, he's going to chase him down there, and he's not going to be able to get the follow-up. He does have to worry about Annenster. He's dodging everything perfectly. Weakling's going to come in. You got to get out of there, Allied. You're not able to. Down goes Weakling, or down goes Annenster. The portal's going to get him out of there. Barracuda is going to get taunted. Beads his way out of that one as well. So that was an amazing rotation by Snipe.
I love the fact that Cog went for it. 3-man rotation over towards the right side. That means there's only maximum 2 people. But Allied, with a huge banish right there, was able to pick it up, not only trade it out for his team and save the Gold Fury, but gave them the presence to get it. Snipe maintains their lead at now 2,600 gold.
All right, now here's my question. Why did Jerby decide to not finish his boots and get the Golden Sash on the line? Is it just for the health because he wants to be a little bit safer in lane?
It's hard to say. I mean, there's a million reasons why you can opt for it. In this case, Raw with movement speed is very strong, but finishing up those boots might not be the gold that he wants to spend. I mean, he could finish it right now. It's an extra 900 gold, but he's only about 50 gold away from finishing up that Warlock Sash, and I imagine he's going to be going back in a second to get it.
Yeah, and Stealth actually finishing his boots, not going with CDR boots. He wants that extra pen, so he's not going to go for max CDR here by the 3rd item, so he's going to be doing a little bit more damage, though. Allied's going to push his wave, returns, and everything right now kind of kosher.
Right side again. Looking at Omega, we talked about the fact that he was going to be tanky. He dealt with 3 people for a very long time, and now, I mean, is doing a great job of keeping Kiki out of this lane. Even so, neither one of them having too much trouble with the other, protection shred on Kiki plus healing, whereas Omega is just super, super tanky. Neither one getting the better of the other just yet.
Now, I've been seeing this a lot. I've been seeing a lot of hand 3s as well as improved shells go on before Sovereignty these days.
I like it. I mean, Sovereignty, if you think about it, it's going to give you a lot of health. It's really, I think it's 400 health, on top of the fact that it gives you, I think, 60 protections or so, but you're getting 20 protections of each kind for your entire team. But that's going to cost you a hell of a lot of gold. Even the final level is 1150. Whereas you look at Improved Shell, that's 45 protections plus 15% damage mitigation for 5 seconds for the entire team that's near you. It weighs, you have to weight it.
Yep.
Where do you think you're going to be in favor of your team? Now, considering Athena is literally going to be on top of someone, given her ult, it's better to go for that 45 protections early game to really get them online faster.
Yeah, and plus, anytime she wants to rotate in, the stun's going to go down on Annenster. There's going to be a decent amount. Jerby's going to be there for the follow-up. He's not going to waste the Searing Pain. It's not a kill potential yet. Meanwhile, as we take a look at the right side here, Weaken, he is going to find Omega. He has to be very careful. Omega will take that. Yeah, he'll take that duel any day of the week.
I mean, why not? Oh, though I'm looking at Weekend level 13 already. Annenster level 12 right now. Taking a look at the experience per minute. Andy sitting at about 570. Comparatively over to the left side, Weekend at 610. So he does have a pretty decent lead there, as well as the fact that Weekend is sitting at 7,100 gold. 1,000 now over Andy, and a second item, Golden Bow, coming online.
Yeah, and Annenster actually going with that Beads 3, but real quick, we actually have a solo lane comparison we're going to be taking a look at here, which is going to be Kiki taking on Omega. Omega 4.4 KDA, 64% win-loss, and 502 gold per minute. What a beast.
Left side, looking at Allied, going to get some free farm. Barracuda nowhere in sight. Looks like Allied's going to go right for the push, which means we're likely going to see a rotation. Watch this. The mid camps have spawned. Major grouping in the mid lane from 3 people of the guys on Cog, but they have nothing to farm right now. They're pushed back in the lane. They didn't get the left camp, and Weaken rocking the clap, ready to go in. Double Intoxicate going to go off there. They're going to turn onto Incon. Not a lot of damage. The shell will deter and allow them to rotate over. Watch Cog now. They're going to be going for the mid camp, but the shell's down. They have a chance to fight.
Kiki is going to be a little bit behind him here, and now Jerby's going to go up in. He's going to do some damage. Kiki comes in. He has it going, calling in the cavalry. Jeff Hindla taking a lot of damage, though. Jerby now has one guy behind him. That's going to be Osiris. Jeff Hindla's going to belly flop out of this
one. He's not getting away.
And Jerby has to be careful here. Annenster's taken to the sky. He's about to crash down. That's what you call a play.
He's trying to escape now. Can Andy get away from Weekend? Stun going to be good, but Allied's rotation was too strong. Barracuda nowhere to be found as Omega gets picked off as well.
That's the difference.
3-4-0 right there. MLC Stealth once again forced to use his ultimate defensively. Barracuda extremely late to the party, forced to rotate back as well. Somersault on cooldown. Now no Gulf Fury to rotate to. Too dangerous to go for Fire Giant. I think everyone's just going to wash that one out and continue to farm.
Well, what's interesting is the fact that Barracuda was still so late to that, and we're still seeing the lane be completely neutral. He didn't shove it up to the tower or anything. He just kind of was just hanging out casually. I mean, that was a big grouping for a long period of time.
Right.
I mean, at 14 minutes, I mean, there's not like a team fight for a second.
So, I mean, I'm looking at Snipe now. They're 5 kills ahead. They have 4,000 gold, and check out Weekend. Check out Weekend. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
The Mercury is on top still. He cannot be
People
stopped.
forget that he's overpowered right now because everyone's so focused on like Odin
Listen
and
to you right now.
Well, no, I know. I'm getting the rhythm of things.
Right, like not for the
Speaking
entirety.
of right now, here comes Weekend. He's going to
Watch
lay.
this. He has the line to it. Intoxicate's going to be good.
Yep.
Needs one hit. Allied's going to try for it. He got the banish. Pulse
Great
will
banish.
get him down in 2 hits. Weekend gets picked off by great shots from Barracuda. Allied stuck under the tower.
Yep, Andenster taking a lot. Oh, what a brilliant stun by Andenster. But he's going to be able to get out of here. Jerby now.
Baited.
It's all up to you.
He's
baited.
He's got
Kiki now is going to chase one out.
Oh, and again, forced to use through space and time defensively. They should have had free kills there. That should have been good for them, but they get picked off. Allied still alive, going to turn his sights to the Gulf Fury. And where do we see Jeff Hindla?
Look at the pressure of Allied he's been putting in every team fight. He is trying to get in there. Barracuda caught in the middle of no man's lane. He's got a little dip and dive, though. He's able to get out of there. But Allied really playing out of his mind. Stealth is going to be caught by a taunt by Incon and rest. Oh, brilliant play. Way to get out of there, buddy.
Searing Pain nowhere as MLC Stealth takes a rather unique pathing away from the tower lines and goes immediately back into the jungle. Left side, another grouping coming out from Snipe C if they can get towards that Gulf Fury, but Jeff Hindla's looming presence is going to keep them deterred. But speaking of Jeff, he's starting to fall behind 7,000 gold compared to 7,500, neither of whom has their sovereignties online, but Jeff doesn't have a shell 2 like Incon has. But he does have the gold ready for him to go back and finish up the sovereignty, which is a very safe buy for extended fights.
Well, Weekend just really trying to push them down here. They do have the tier 1 down here in the mid lane. On the right side, though, oh, man, he's got to be very, very careful. Oh, Megatron could get grouped on. Yeah, he's got the ward coverage there to kind of pave the way just a little bit there. But, normally we see when Chaos Side's really doing well, they're controlling the blue buff of the right lane.
Right.
And we haven't seen a single one be taken. I think that's a really big difference maker. It really just kind of sets, like, the pace of the game.
It's a lot of experience to be able to take away every 4 minutes. Not to mention, stealing away that mana is so big on characters that are so dependent. I mean, look at Kiki right now. Has no mana to his name because he didn't have that blue buff ready to go. It has respawned on the bottom side. We actually might see Omega go for it.
Yeah, and he actually grabbed a mystical male, so he's mitigating a lot of damage.
That's really late to me. But they don't really need a lot of attack slows. Really, it would only affect Barracuda. Omega, actually, no, it would affect Omega. Mystical Male is strong, but Midgardian might have been a little bit better in this regard. But it should be noted that the more physical defense you have at 60 with Mystical Male is going to be good, given the fact that Rune Forge Hammer is online, giving him a percentage of that back in damage.
Yeah. All eyes on Jerby here. If these players start to group, getting ready for the Gold Fury, the Sentry Wards have gone down. Jeff Hindla's calling for the rotation over that way, so he has protection. Jerby going to stay here, keep farming up his Warlock Sash. He wants to get that sacked up as soon as possible. He does have to be careful, though.
Do you see the inventory right now? They have a Sentry Ward right now on the Gold Fury and 2 more in the inventory ready to trade it back.
Yeah, they're not.
Oh, Barra in a huge amount of trouble, not going to find the line he was looking for, taking a lot of damage. Sprint is just about to end as Jeff comes back in, and he's going to miss his ultimate.
Wow.
No damage coming out from Barracuda, and while they didn't get much there, that was a 1-for-2 ult trade, and Andy's heading back to the base.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, Kiki actually hasn't decided to push that tower. He would have gotten it much faster. I mean, his
he wants
will
to
be
rotate.
able to get it, but
he wants to make sure that if Omega's rotating, he's rotating as well.
And you know, Omega is going to be in the back lines. He's going to be found there. The ban is trying to come. He's up. Jeff Hindler, this is going to be tough. Omega's now in behind. This could be a lot of trouble here. Allied Valkyrie's discretion. There's going to be one. Jerby's going to be able to pick up one. And now Stealth. You might be next. Sonic Boom doing a lot of damage, but he's not able to pick up the kill.
Andy trying to teleport away, gets there about a second before the teleportation went away, but he didn't get in there even so. Jeff is gone, no hand 3 online for the guys on COG. Kiki trying to keep out Omega as Snipe turns their sights to the Gold Fury.
Yep, this is basically free. No Jeff Hindler, the master of stealing. They did have a hand actually in the hands of Omega. He's going to go ahead and blow that on the blue buff.
You know, talking about the guys on Snipe, man, these guys have been
my throat.
These guys have been the kryptonite for COG. Every time we've seen COG suffer a major loss, it has really been at the hands of Snipe. The only other time I can think is Dignitas did defeat them at the launch tournament. An honor that should have belonged to Snipe, though, thrown off probably the biggest throw that we saw in Smite. Took a big hit to the morale on the guys in Snipe, but you can see they are not fazed by it at this week, as they are right now 6,200 ahead against the team that was normally undefeated. Rushing forward, Incontinentia forcing away Jeff Hindler. That's going to be a free tier 2 right side. Andy trying to counter with his own as he continues the push. Actually might have a line to a decent amount of damage here.
Oh, look at this. They're trading here. They got a 500 from the tier 1. They're going to be getting more gold here.
They got actually 1,000 from tier 1s.
Oh, really?
They took 2. They took right.
Oh, wow.
And
That's right. Yep.
Nothing going to keep going there. You can see them start to rotate back around. They need to try to find an answer. Despite the fact that they did find 2 towers, they're not going to find enough to really keep them going.
Yeah, it's not going to be a whole lot there. Weakened 10,000 player damage in 20 minutes. I mean, he's no Nisha, but, you know, who is?
You know, while Weekend has the player damage, I'm still looking at Allied. I think this game is being won right now
carried by
because of Allied. I mean, he has got the picks. He has had the banishes, the reset on the Gold Fury, giving them the first one to begin with. Allied has really been the backbone of this game.
No, Allied, the play on the Gold Fury is what set the tone for this game.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was amazing. Yeah, if COG gets that, we're looking at a completely different game. But Jerby actually going right into the Chronos Pendant here after Warlocks. He had a couple options he could have done there.
I like that, actually.
But the Chronos, he's going to be getting a lot more damage out. And the heals.
Well, with Warlocks giving him so much health, he can afford to not go so tanky afterwards. So giving himself cooldown reduction, especially in the longer engaged team fights, now has maximum cooldown reduction, giving him there could possibly be 2, maybe even 3 searing pains in an engagement.
What?
Depends on how long it goes. I mean, you're looking at, I think close to 40 seconds now.
True.
I don't play mages. Ridiculous magic.
I love mages.
I like punching.
You would. I'm from Jersey. In the right lane, Kiki actually might be able to find a returning Omegatron. He looked at him and he's like, you know, you're a beefcake. I don't want to kind of fight you there. We are actually seeing a weakening curse coming out of Jeff Hindler.
I like it.
No shell online at all. Stealth most likely will not be getting that as well, so it's kind of safe to chalk that up.
Probably going to be an Aegis, yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably get an Aegis.
It's dangerous to not have the shell. It's also dangerous to not have a Heavenly Agility, and you look across the way, and both are online for Snipe. In fact, Kiki being the one to pick up the Heavenly Agility, which is great considering Jerby couldn't build it with the greater Aegis and Purification Beads. Putting it on the other healer to ensure that the Heavenly Agility passive will be active is very smart.
Well, Kiki spotting Omega. A little bit of fist thrown there. Incon now trying to get some aggressive wards in here.
Look
Jeff
at
Hindler's
Weekend.
going to be able to rotate around here. There's going to be the pings down. Weekend.
Fist.
Is he going to go? Oh my God. Omega gets shredded. Wow.
How did that
Weekend?
even... There is not a single point of penetration outside of Warrior Tabby, and you look at Omega right now. He is sitting on level 2 Smithy's Hammer. He's got Heavy Hammer.
That was Crit City.
Jeez,
Look at that. The Deathbringer's online. I didn't even see that.
That's a 30% crit chance total right now. Andy taking some big hits too, trying to stun. He's not getting up. There's no way. Incon's going to find the kill with level 1 shield wall. Running into the back line. There comes Weekend again. Jeff Hindler getting destroyed. Nowhere to go.
Wow, and they actually waste the Astral Barrage there. Barracuda thought they were going to continue to dive, so he preemptive. Huh?
He hit all 3 hits. In fact, the final hit hit Kiki, and it was like...
Are they going for
it? Was what I like to call the tickle.
Stop this. Don't even...
MLC Stealth can't return through that portal. He's going to have to make a new one. He used it to approach. Fire Giant is taken, and the seemingly undefeatable COG is just getting manhandled.
A lot of chinks in the armor right now. And the best part about this is that we're seeing Chaos side actually show a little bit of weakness here, as they are going to be pushing on the tier 2. We do have Incon kind of lurking around in the corner, waiting to make sure everyone's going to be there. They're going to be able to rip through this almost instantly. Good call here by Barracuda to kind of go into the long lane, kind of farm up just a little bit because he is behind, but he needs to recall immediately. There is a 5-man grouping going on the right Phoenix.
I like this. They have the ability here to really push, and it's so strong, their push, that Barracuda realizes he can't even split push going in. Shells are going to come out there, and they're forced to retreat already. Jerby going to whiff that one out. A lot of trouble come through as the second shell gets activated. We're going to see them go in. Does they?
They're bowing.
Oh, I don't think they have the push here. In fact, they've taken a lot. Andy taken to the skies, coming in hot, looking for it. Gets 2 in the back line, and there comes Stealth.
Yeah, Stealth now. Oh, God, he gets taunted. He is just getting manwich right now. In through he goes through one portal. Omega's going to be sitting there right at the Phoenix, and now they're going to look for the re-engage. Jeff Hinley, down he goes. There is going to be no belly flap or anything on the line. Andinster's going to miss the boom, and now he is going to be able to get away with the skin of his teeth, but at what cost? This Phoenix should be going down relatively soon. Jerby's going to poke at it. He is still in the fight.
Aegis. Very smart. The Rock Heel keeping them in this. Incon taking a lot, but they finally get it. So far, only 1 casualty in this extended engagement, but Allied's
great
probably
play
go
by
down
Andinster. Stealth now able to pick that one up as well. Guan Yu staying in there. That's going to be Kiki. He's going to sacrifice for his team, which is always a good play. And now we're going to see Jerby. Oh, he's got to be careful. He's going to possibly get slowed. Unstable Vortex.
Here comes the Threshold. He's waiting for it. The Threshold does hit, and it will speed up as well. He's going to go under the ground. Huge hit, but the Aegis coming through very smart.
Play.
Here comes Incon again. The ultimate's going to be good. Omega taking some damage. They're trying to get in there. Oh, my God.
Oh, there's the turn on. Here comes Weekend. Rest in peace, Barracuda. Now he's going to continue to push up. Incon's going to be looking for Stealth. Unstable Vortex, unable to hit anyone. Jeff Hinley's there to disrupt everything. And Weekend's going to get a little bit of life, so he wants Andinster so bad. Andinster misses that. Made you look. Waiting for it to come online again. He's going to turn around, box out Stealth. No chance at all. Jeff Hinley down. You go. Oh, my God. Mercury, you are amazing.
What a fair character. It's actually built into Malice for extra damage. An item.
Oh, watch. Hold on.
An item that, yeah, this is an item that we don't see a lot of players building outside of Weekend. This is an item that he loves to build. He likes the more normalized crit, less from Rage. And just looking, I have 40% chance, whatever, no problem. But if I crit you, you are going to hold that. And it's 75% of your total physical damage as a dot. And right now, 264, I mean, that's going to add 200 to his swings.
And looking at Omega's build here, right, he's got 3 incomplete items online. Obviously, Heavy Hammer's not going to get finished, but Smithy's Hammer as well as Cursed Blade, he had to do that because of Chins.
Oh, Weekend again going in. Stealth not finding the teleport he was looking for, but a bad throw going to come through. Oh, I thought that throw was going to make a difference. I thought that throw, not throwing him away from the wall, was going to allow MLC Stealth to get away. I forgot that Mercury hits harder than God himself.
Well, he is a god.
He's a lesser god.
He is a
just not in Smite.
Yeah, no, definitely not in Smite. Jerby slowly getting into the action here. You can just see the raw. He wants a Searing Pain so bad. They're going to wait for the engagement. They have a 5-on-4. Keep that in mind for another 30 seconds. Incon's going to come in. He's going to be able to taunt so many people. Beads coming down. Barracuda able to sneak out. Oh, my God. He's not going to be alive for long, though. They're all the way back in the Titan. Calvary's going to be there, but they're not able to get a kill. Great belly flop by Jeff Hinley.
A much shorter Phoenix engagement this time, as Omega's going to be forced to use his ultimate to get away. Rotates back in to get a slow, but doesn't get much. Left side continuing to use the double heal property. Coming out from Guan Yu and Ra. They're going to push into their 3rd and possibly final Phoenix. The issue here is that they don't have the Fire Giant buff anymore. It has such fallen off. Right side will be spawning inside of a minute now, so keep your eyes for the next engagement over there.
That's what's going to happen. The Fire Giant's going to be the big point here. Barracuda is going to be able to push some waves here, and Omega, but they're going to group for it. They might actually get there first if they're ballsy. Now, obviously, Cog could go for it, but I don't think they're going to risk that.
It's about to spawn. We're definitely inside 15 seconds at this point, and with everyone being back on Snipe right now, I'm very surprised to see them not going for this. Maybe they don't have the timer. Maybe they don't know when it's coming up, but, we talked about this before. They need to make better timers. You have to start, as a player, not relying so much on the timers given to you. Fire Giant respawns. Jeff Hinley's back at the base with the only hand 3.
Yeah. That's very troublesome, and we're actually maybe. I
They
think
don't
right
have the
now,
vision.
I think Snipe's thinking, okay, we can't do this. We have no vision. We could bait it and kind of push through, but they do have to be a little bit careful. Incon is going to be there with Allied, and that's going to be okay. But
Left side could be in some trouble. You're going to see Jerby force out the Athena ult here. Omega deep inside 3, going to get blown up.
Blown up. Rest to the respawn screen here. There's Jeff Inla. Yeah, that's going to do it here. We do have Allied. The question is will Allied be able to hit this banish?
Got him.
And he's going to beat out of there, and he's a very, very safe god is Thor. The Titan is going to be getting pushed here, and that's going to do it.
I think this is going to be it. If they're smart, they'll go to the right side. They'll take the Phoenix down. Instead, no, they're going to go right for the Titan. They think they have the damage.
Well, this is going to be close-ish. I mean, the raw heal is going to really just do something here. Allied's going to take to this guy, and down he goes. And just like that, Snipe wins. And that shakes up just about everything in North America, with the exception of Cog Red sitting on their pedestal.
That's, definitely going to hurt Cog Prime as they now fall to 8-5. Dignitas 7-4 right now.
They're tied now. So really all eyes tomorrow on Dignitas, who are playing the Chunks, which isn't going to be an easy win. But before we get into talk about tomorrow, let's go ahead and take a look at the damage here coming out of Snipe. Jerby 17,000, but let's be honest, Mercury 26,000 player damage. Why aren't you banned? Right? Can that any be more accurate?
There is no reason to allow this guy through. Him and Geb, in my opinion, should be banned every game. Less respect bans, more target bans on top tiers. Those two
Besides
are
Gars.
Well, yeah, Gar. But then again, you can ban Thor and Mercury.
Yep.
And speaking of Mercury, let's watch Weekend just go in.
Look at the damage he does. And this is the most impressive part, right? He's looking at 3 people. He even gets hurt, and then he's like, okay, I'm going to get some quick lifesteal here, no problem. And then he's just going to destroy everyone. Jeff Hinla, who's this Guardian player, keep in mind. So he has all the protections. He gets cut through like he doesn't even exist.
That's the power of Mercury.
Was it 4 punches?
Well, I think that the major issue is, one, he can build crit and still do that ridiculous damage because he has a 70% attack speed steroid on his 2.
Just insane.
I think if we're looking at nerfs here, and I normally don't like to talk about that, we got to do something about the free attack speed. He doesn't even have to build into attack speed to be able to do that amount of damage. And I think, we're seeing him shred through tanks that much for the rest of the week until we see we should not see Mercury again until he is nerfed.
Not at all.
Plain and simple. Too strong.
On a more positive note, we do have the standings here for you guys after today's SPL matches. As we go ahead and bring it up, you can see Exposed Secrets kind of living at the top here, but how long are they going to last? Really, the big story here is Cognitive Red 9-2, and then 2 8-5s and a 7-4 tomorrow. Dignitas actually taking on Team Chunks, so that's one that's going to have your eye. We could potentially, well, that would actually put them in second place because they played 1 game less, so they would technically be in second at 8-4.
And that Exposed Secrets haven't played another game this week. TSM has a game tomorrow. Exposed Secrets doesn't have one until Sunday, which means Team Solo Mid will have 1 more game played this week.
Now, luckily, Mortality does not. Yeah, Mortality. Oh, do they play? Yeah, they play tomorrow
morning.
Mortality really needs to. They need a wake-up call right now. Things have not been looking good ever since the TSM Invitational. They've been on a downward spiral, and they need to pull it together.
They've had a kind of a rough 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They didn't do as well as expected at the LAN.
Nope.
They haven't done it as well as expected this week. Now 7-5. But I'm looking at Cog Red, man. They're still sitting extremely strong. We'll be checking up on them tomorrow as they face off against their sister team, Cognitive Prime.
That's
the issue
be
here,
such a good match.
Cognitive Prime already starting to fall a little bit behind comparatively to where they were. Dignitas will be facing off against the Chunks tomorrow, who looked mighty strong today.
Yeah, the Chunks did look good. And I mean, that's the thing about Dignitas, right? They had a day off, so they had time to kind of go, but I think we do have an updated schedule as well for tomorrow in case you guys want to take a look at the matchups here, which is what we're going to bring up to you. But yeah, I mean, Dignitas, they can't overlook Chunks. They're not going to walk through them, so that's going to be a big match, which is going to be coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, the latest game in North America is going to be Cog Red taking on Cog Prime, and then in the European side of things, Cloud9 versus Mortality. Cloud9, first kind of look at them in a long time, and then SK versus Team Solo Mid. SK having a lot to prove.
Yeah, they won the LAN event, the regional, giving them a $25,000 prize pool. And since then, we expected so much, and we haven't seen it come through. Currently sitting at 4-7. This is kind of their chance to make it back into it. Now,
it is.
I talked a little bit about Bart. Whoever places on bottom in EU has trouble. Whereas NA, the Challenger Cup teams don't seem to be as strong as someone of like Fat Chunks Assemble. But SK and Team Coast right now, if this were to end, would have to contend with Agilitas and the Potato Boys, who are just lightning in a bottle.
Well, Agilitas, they haven't lost a single Challenger Cup yet.
Well, they were just barely knocked out of contention by SK Gaming, who just barely made it in.
Absolutely silly. Well, that's going to do it for us here on Friday Night Broadcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. For DM and myself, take it easy.